What is this device in our local medical museum? The curators cannot figure out the function of this curious contraption. The box is approximately 11.5 inches wide, 5.5 inches high, and 5.5 inches deep. Any ideas are greatly appreciated. It's a magneto-electric machine from the Civil War, missing the handles that would deliver the shock. It was patented on August 1st, 1854 by Ari Davis of New York City. It's an early electrical generator that uses permanent magnets rotating near copper coils to convert mechanical energy into alternating current. The operator would place handles in the patient's hands or elsewhere on the patient's body, and then turn a crank to deliver a mild alternating current to the patient. The force of the current depended upon the speed with which the crank was turned. They claimed that it could relieve pain as well as cure numerous diseases, including cancer, tuberculosis, diabetes, gangrene, heart disease, tetanus, and spinal deformities. My folks-in-law own this but don't know what it is for. Around 14 inches tall, it's definitely hand-engraved and looks pretty fancy, but apart from that, we have no idea. Please help. It's an antique Persian oil lamp. These lamps typically originate from the Qajar or Zand dynasty periods in Persia, from the mid-18th century all the way to 1925. They are handcrafted from copper and often feature intricate engravings. The upper cup holds oil and a wick for lighting, while the lower bowl catches drips. What are these items I found with some odds and ends in my late aunt's belongings? They were in a little box with some buttons. I'm guessing some kind of lock, for a bike or something like that. When I Google image search, I did see the word lock come up a few times, but the pictures didn't quite match. Any idea what these might be? It's a vintage crochet fork, a tool for making hairpin lace. It was really popular in the 60s to 70s, and almost every clothing pattern incorporated it. A crafter uses a crochet hook to work stitches around the parallel metal prongs, creating a series of loops held together by a central spine of crochet stitches. The tool includes a removable bar to hold stitches in place while working. Once multiple lace strips are created, they are joined together to make lightweight items like scarves, shawls, blankets, and intricate clothing. What is this tool I found at an antique store? Around 10 inches long, and the top half is spring-loaded, pushing down to approximately 1 inch. It has what looks like a bottle cap opener on one end, but what could the other spiky end be for? I'm thinking maybe it's some sort of marshmallow stick. Any help to identify would be great. It's a 1940s ice cube crusher, designed to create crushed ice using a metal spring action handle with 5 pointed prongs to break up ice cubes. It provides a manual alternative to electric ice crushers or shaves. What is this wave-shaped porcelain dish I found in a construction salvage yard? About a foot long, 5 inches wide, and about an inch deep. It is stamped 1948, and the brand is standard in the same font as American Standard. But there are no holes to hang it on a wall or drain. It's heavy. I would not think it's portable. However, it does not look like it was ever mounted to something or grouted onto a floor, and I'm sure a hard knock would break it apart. It easily fits a size 13 foot inside it, but only one, and it's too shallow to actually soak a foot, and I can't tell if the cover or wave portion is to keep things in or out. I have been stumped for years, so I appreciate your help. Thanks for any assistance. It's a grinding and polishing trough for dentists or jewelers. It was patented on February 8, 1923 by Fred Sidney Arthur Mickelberg of London, England. You put that around a benchtop grinding or polishing wheel, and the hood prevents material from flying everywhere. Here's what they look like in modern use, and here's a vintage porcelain one for sale on eBay. If they have priced that one correctly, you might have a few $100 on your hands. What is this thing I found in the Netherlands? The height is approximately 15 centimeters, or around 6 inches, and when you press down on the handle, it can lift the cylinder. There is an opening at the top and bottom of the cylinder, and there is also wood that seems to divide the inside of the cylinder. Can anyone tell me anything about this item? It's an Art Deco cigarette dispenser that dates from around 1930. You fill the cylinder with cigs, and when you press down, it raises up. And when you let it back down, there's a cig in that tray on top. Back in the day, when smoking was ubiquitous and cigarettes cost 25 cents a pack, it was considered to be normal hospitality to have cigarettes around for guests. This somewhat whimsical design might have been in the family room or on the bar. I saw this thing at a local junkyard in Hungary. The size is about 2 to 2.5 meters tall. It looks like it's made out of some kind of metal and has this bell shape. Unfortunately, I can't get closer because I only saw this while I was on a train and passing by this junkyard stuff, which is gated off. The two pictures are from two different objects, but they look the same. Overall, there are 3 of them. They appear the same in size, material, and shape. They have been sitting at this junkyard for a year now, and it is usually stored outside. I was always wondering what it could be. Any help or insight is much appreciated. This is a 40-year-old cone from an old Soviet rocket. A lot of the material has probably been scrapped at this point, but it does still have some cooling pipes wrapped around it. I'm not sure how long it has been at this scrapyard, but I'd bet money it was from some nearby Soviet facility that was abandoned after the fall and scrapped by the locals like a lot of USSR hardware. After the fall, people in a lot of places needed food, and the USSR had no claim to the materials anymore, so they were often pretty much up for grabs. We can be sure it never saw space, because it would have been pretty shredded on re-entry, and would have required underwater salvage. It might have been test-fired at some point, or maybe it was never finished. It might have been a prototype or test platform, or it might have been intended to take something to space, or deliver something unpleasant to another continent. What is this heavy metal object I found while metal detecting in eastern Massachusetts? About 5 by 5 inches, and it features 2 threaded plugs with concave bases. Other items in the vicinity date from the 1900s to the 1940s. The item is heavy for its size and appears to be brass or a similar metal. I managed to shift one of the threaded plugs slightly and discovered there is a strong spring in the tube. Any help with figuring out what it is and how old would be awesome. Please tell us down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Let's make life fun.